Doesn't belong to us whatsoever. And this is understood, that it's given for my disposal for a while, and I cannot abuse and use it anytime I want. I should be respectful and treat it nicely, then automatically so many problems are solved. Prabhupada was especially entertaining about the customs, the borders. He compared them to dogs. Every border you come to, passport. What do you have in a car? And naturally, because people smuggle things and steal things, that's another problem. But this whole idea of border and this whole idea of mine, we are here are the flags. Well, we know how quickly that can change. Just in a recent time, the borders change so much, they cannot even print new maps, It's just, whenever map you open, it's outdated. Because this country became this country and that country, and especially in these countries who are genetically designed to fight, like in Balkan, they are dividing, they almost have countries the size of a town. This is Montenegro, and this is Bosnia-Herzegovina, and this is Serbia, and it's all getting smaller and smaller. At the end there's one man sitting on a chair, saying, this is my chair. I want my embassy. I want my government. We have our parliament here, This is my chair. This is Kali Yuga. Constantly dividing and quarreling. My chair. This is Bosnian chair. Well, it's the last thing you have. There's nothing left as your chair. No, but it's my chair. Then they take the chair away and he dies. This is called really foolish. Instead of just understanding, yes, there is a genetic differences in people, and people should be situated according to their nature, conditioned nature even. But that doesn't mean that you have to draw a line and say, this is mine and this is yours. People should be educated to the fact, yes, we are living in this ethnic area. We do hear things a little bit differently, of course. But you are welcome. One of the best examples is India. So many different people living together. If you would put so many Europeans together, they will kill each other immediately. You could say America is a good example. No, it's not. They are only peaceful because everybody has a gun. As they say, God created the human and called, that was the first producer of the gun, he made them equal. Because I have one, you have one. Don't shoot, I will shoot back. That's also a concept of equality, but a very demoniac one. Don't pull your gun, I will pull first. It's all high noon country, Who is going to pull first? What kind of peace you derive from that? Just wait. Just wait. Everybody has the hand already here. And they go, very nice, sit down. Can we talk about it? We will discuss very liberally, we are democracy. We will vote who has more guns. Huh? They will tell you very democratically, and whether you are democratic. We will teach you democracy. You look at the gun, big gun, that's called democracy. So this is all, of course, how long that can last. The real democracy and the real thing what they're actually speaking about can be found only on a spiritual platform. You understand, we are not this body. That doesn't mean that the body is not there. That's another big point. Yes, we have our bodies and we express ourselves differently. Very differently. But you have to learn to understand that not being the body doesn't mean that I have to respond necessarily to that body thing. There is a person behind. Like there are people who are very sincere in their endeavor, Krishna conscious endeavor even, but they act a little bit funny. And that comes forth in Krishna consciousness. We are really the funny people, Because when you start to act on a spiritual platform, let's example dancing in a kirtan and all this, well, you will find all kinds of funny moves and people start to do funny things. Like it's funny to see new guests coming who actually connect dancing immediately to some disco dance or something. So they think, oh, this is something else, this is something like that. Huh? So they hear the holy name and they start to make funny moves. But they realize it doesn't really work. Because actually the Krishna conscious dancing is completely natural, it comes from inside. It's not something you force, Of course in the beginning, what else you can do, you imitate, okay. But actually, the real dancing is completely natural. Krishna consciousness is completely natural. But we are so perverted that we are now trying to do something spiritual with this material body. Of course, it's a hard work. We always project our material thinking, material feeling into spiritual life. So we seek material ecstasy in spiritual life. That's a problem. It's not there. It will clash. All this, what we look for, bliss and happiness and this is already there. We just by the process of chanting and becoming more and more purified, it should come out. If it doesn't, then something went wrong. Then we are working against it with our own concept of happiness, our own concept of progress. We are working against it. But actually Krishna consciousness means you just follow the process, it will come out. And of course the body will be there. It will be funny. In different locations people express themselves according to their bodily circumstance. Like a preacher who travels around, or spiritual master who is initiating all over the world, he has to be very expert to these things so he doesn't get fooled. Like there are people who are very enthusiastically responding, but they are just patient. And there are people who are maybe not so outgoing, they are more like, you think he's not enthusiastic? No, he is very enthusiastic, but he is working in a different way. So ultimately the judgment is how people participate in Srila Prabhupada's mission, and then you can see the result. Some people are very easygoing, easy come, easy go, and next day he's gone. And some people are like very difficult to get going, but they think about it. It's like even the material plane. I heard Einstein was very bad in school, not so good. They also said he's so slow. Well, his brain was so complicated, designed, that he thought about a problem at least from 5 different directions simultaneously, and that takes time. Because he was genius. So they were all like, yeah, what is this guy? He's just like, yeah, no. He's so slow, he's stupid. No, he was just genius. Same problems we have in Krishna consciousness. Sometimes you see people coming around and, hey, great, and then they don't do anything. And some people, they think more seriously about things, and but when they start to do something, it's real. I don't mind if I quote something beautiful from Manidhara Prabhu about the depth of Danish nature. That's how you learn, when you listen to such things. When you live in a country, you have to listen and check what people do, because that's how they will express themselves in Krishna consciousness. Like he said, I'm coming from an area in Denmark, we don't use too many big words, because we don't want to waste them. We save them for the real thing. So when you're saying, this is fantastic, then you have to say it when it's really fantastic. It's a wonderful thing actually, because then you want to be honest. You can say fantastic only when it's fantastic. You save that word for that opportunity, because it should mean something. That's serious. You would say, no, stupid farmer. No, it's a serious thing. Whereby, the example was given, Americans, they are great. They just walk in the door and they go, far out, great, fantastic, wow. And it means absolutely nothing. I remember my godbrother Suhoda Swami, he told me, you preach in America, you can feel very inspired initially. You sit in a subway as a devotee, and there's a man next to you. He is fired up. He looks at you and he goes, wow, you are Hare Krishna, fantastic, great. And you think, well, that's very nice that I can respond to this, Yeah, you start to preach, but you realize he's not listening one thing. Then he turns around, next to him sits a homosexual, and he goes, Well, how is you? Well, I like boys. Fantastic! Wow! Great! Big time! And you realize it doesn't mean one thing. Completely superficial, completely hollow, shallow. Doesn't mean one thing. So they have even a saying, like example, you test a friend. Like they say, in times of need, you realize the friend. Because if something really is needed, like example, becoming Krishna conscious, then the real friend will tell you, hey, you're stupid. Come on, wake up. I will help you. Please chant Hare Krishna. What can you do? I mean, you try to facilitate people's progress. That's a real friend. And the other friend, you think he is a friend. He goes, wow, far out. You got stoned. Great. Far out. Wow, you are really drunk. Great. Do it. But this is not a friend. So this is how you can see in times of need, really, who is your friend. Friend will not lie to you. Friend will try to help in a constructive way, which we see being Krishna conscious, in a Krishna conscious way, not in a material way. So we have to be tolerant towards our bodies. The bodies express themselves differently. We have to be tolerant to these bodies and see actually inside the motivation and the sincerity of that person. Like that somebody comes at all, that's tough. That's sincere. Here to make his way to the temple even. And be, and get some. That's not all people do that. That's already some sincerity. And then if somebody stays, whoa, that's even more sincere. And he tries, that's more sincere. And he doesn't go away at all, or that's even more sincere. So this is how you see actually sincerity, and that's how your things become serious in a real sense, in a spiritual sense. And then you become seriously happy. Because Krishna responds. You mean it really. You don't go away, you stay here, you stick it out, despite all the adversities, and you hear every day how stupid you are, and you don't go away. That's impressive. And then Krishna responds, that's nice, it looks like you are becoming my devotee. And then you become automatically happy. You don't have to ask for happiness, it's coming on its own. So that's actually how we become happy. By being tolerant towards the material side of things and being always striving to improve things spiritually. And we have to learn the tolerance from Lord Sankarshan, who just could destroy the whole thing in 1 second. But he waits, and goes, I hope they get the point. I hope they get the point. I'm God, I created this whole thing, so they get the point and they don't get the point. So this is a tolerance which we can learn. It's difficult. Because it's difficult to tolerate stupidity, and the more you know, the more difficult it gets. There's some questions?
Why is it necessary in my philosophy, this idea that nothing is wrong? Why is it necessarily Mayavad philosophy, this idea said that there's nothing is wrong, everything is fine? You kind of mentioned that.
Yeah, because first of all it's not true, and second of all it's cowardly. They know it's wrong. They can see it, but you deny it. You cover it up. It's like somebody comes, he has cancer, and he goes, look, there's a boil, and there's something, and you think, we put some plaster on it, we are fine. It's cheating. It's absolute cheating.
But Mayavad philosophy means
Yeah, Mayavad philosophy means covering up. Cover up. No, I'm fine, you're fine, we're all fine here. Cover it up. I mean, what kind of help is this? It's cheating. Don't point to things. It will be pointed to you. That's one of the arguments I heard. Don't point things out. You will be pointed out. Yeah, of course I will be pointed out. That's what we came here for. And then you realize the difference between Shudra and Brahmana. Brahmana wants to know. Shudra wants to feel. Your pointing makes me feel bad. I feel so bad. It's because of you. How do I make you feel good? Tell me something nice. Well, it's not really true, but you are very beautiful. Don't say it. And play the whole thing for all the grihastas. How to cheat. Because part of the grihasta ashrama, you have to learn how to cheat. How do you do that? You know. And everybody knows it's cheating. But it has to be. It's called white lies. Lies which has to be said to make the life a little bit tolerable. Because the need of the false ego is so strong just to be satisfied. Tell me something. Tell me I'm beautiful. Okay. You are so beautiful. And then you know, and then in Krishna conscious context, it really takes comical parts, you know. And they tell you back, don't say it, we are not his body. You know, yeah, really, then why do I have to say it when we are not his body? It has to be said. It's like, I have some itch, can you scratch it? Yes. Is it okay? No, it hurts when you scratch. Well, you just said I should scratch. You know? No. Okay, I will not scratch. Why are you not scratching? But you said when I scratch it hurts. You know? You don't know how to scratch. How do I scratch so it doesn't hurt? Oh, the despair of Grihastha ashrama. Oh. And that's the end of it. At the end you just go out, I failed! Oh. Hey, welcome to the sannyas department. That's how it works. Material nature is designed like this. It's never really perfect. And it's all your fault. You know? It's always ends up, but you would summarize all this man-woman saying at the end, you end up always up with the same scenery, you know? It's always like ends up in different versions, different countries, different sizes. Always, you know, all the time. Both. And just, you. It's not you, it's not me, material nature acting. So this Mayavada thing is such a pathetic hoax. Don't do this, be nice. But no, but she's doing it, he's doing it. No, just... It reminds me on the hippies, you know, when they make the demonstration in the 60s and the police came with guns. The hippies used to pluck flowers and put it into the guns of the police. Peace. And then the police beat them up all and that was it. You know? And where are the hippies now? Where are these love and peace people? Where are they?
I'm poor.
Material nature had answered. Because of one thing. They were austere. Hippie, no possession. Hippie means no claim of fame and glory. Food, simple. Even vegetarian, no problem. You know. Demands for protection. My house, my garden, very little. No, come in my garden. Let's live together. That was the foul thing in the 60s. Communities were created completely on their own. You had one room, there was 60 people inside. And they were living on top of each other, mostly naked. You know, that was the hippie thing. You know. No, it's all we share, everything great. There was only one thing he didn't give up. And that was sex life. And from there everything generates. Well, it's my baby, oh, it's my woman, it's me and my. And then usually Mrs. Hippie was not so happy about that Mrs. Hippie. And that Mrs. Hippie said that Mrs. Hippie said that I said. And therefore we have to be away from these people. They talk bad about us. So we have to live in this little pit hole called a flat. But it costs money. And living actually single, it's very expensive. Sharing things together, that gets cheap. That's what we are doing here. Because when you are alone, you have to have your own washing machine, you have to have your own sink, and you have to have your own everything. You have to have things under control. As they say in Czech Republic, when the children are sleeping and the household machines are working smoothly, you hear the sound, spinning machine and dishwashing machine, then the household is happily sleeping. Everything under control. The only problem is that all this circus costs money. And you have to go out and make the money. It doesn't fly through the window. And then you end up in a situation where you work all day, so you can come in the evening and sit at home for 2 minutes completely exhausted, and you go, this is all mine. And then you fall asleep. You're finished, because you have to work so hard. But then you start to share things, and you come together, and then even practically, materially spoken, things become much more easy to handle. There's problems to it too, of course there are problems. Mental kind, physical kind, it's always problems. But when you are alone, you get another problem. And the problems don't stop. It's like in an old-fashioned style, the family life was together. Not only just one family. In India, as they say, it takes a whole village to raise one child. How easy that was. So I just give the example again. You can just go to Manidhara Prabhu gardening colony. It's another atmosphere there, And it's just few square meters of dirt, where everybody sits in a little thing and thinks, this is mine, this is also mine here. But we are together here in our mind. Everybody has their own mind. And it's nice. And suddenly things become more personal. You can go over to the next guy and say, my spade broke, can I borrow you for a few minutes? Yeah, why not? Sure. Or they come just to you. Like that lady came, into your stuga, and she had no purpose, just bubbled. Because she needs to bubble. We are here now. We are the National Society for Gardening Consciousness. That's our society here, that's our place. And we are sharing things, yes. We share the toilet here, and if I need something or I see something you are doing, you can be useful for me, I can ask you, and suddenly things get relaxed. Well, that's how people used to live for thousands of years. And they were not big friends, and they didn't have a humanistic, heroic announcement, the United Nations, They were just living and sharing their pains and pleasures and simple. But with the arrival of industrialization, everything got separated. The machines invented by a few very crippled people, they destroyed the whole thing and separated everybody in their own cubicles. Then they sit there and they go with this machine and do with this machine, and they come home and the kitchens looks like morgues. Just stainless steel and you just cold, no decoration, and the machines are going. That's the preparation of food, yeah. And then you sit in front of another machine, big TV, and you go, okay, I'm looking what they are doing, because you don't do anything. Completely sterile, empty places you live in with no personal interaction whatsoever. Just the sound of the garbage going down the pipe. Oh, you think, the neighbor is home, he flushed the toilet. That's the only sign of a personal existence. What an atmosphere they created. And you can just go a few meters to a gardening colony and they don't have even toilet. They have one toilet for everybody. And then they, and then they go, hello, and you cannot pass by anybody without saying hello. But a few meters away on the public crossing, on a public road, no contact. This is such a simple way to see how life could be different. No Vedic culture, no big cities. If there's big cities, only for qualified people. And even in the cities, divisions. Here drink the Shudras, here manage the Kshatriyas, here teach the Brahmanas. And here you can go shopping, that's what Vaishyas are. Not like everybody together. The Brahmanas study and the Shudra is howling on the street, drunk. No, you want to have some howling, go over there. Or you are not satisfied with your wife and you want to have lots of sex life. You have a brothel house here also. It's just at the edge of the town somewhere, and then you go and do your thing. It's everything arranged. But not just mush together. Like you want to read Bhagavatam, you have a howling guy outside horning and some gang member, with the fancy tires on their car and going, full speed sound driving around the block. Ta-da! I'm here. I'm Shudra. I will kill you all. Yeah! How can you exist in such an atmosphere and cultivate some knowledge? A person like this, well, he will be shot eventually. That's what the only time he gets some peace. But what has this to do with me? So this all Mayavada mush, it's all one and the same. And brother, what do you mean brother? He is a gangster. I don't want to be a brother to any gangster. Sorry. And they have even in Denmark people like that. A man who was practically shot because he said something about some people who are doing something in Denmark. The response was he opened the door and there was a guy with a gun pointing into his face. You shut up! And he just hit the guy in the face and kicked him. And he said, you can shoot me, I will not shut up. Well, it takes quite some courage to say such a thing. I think it's also part of Danish nature to be obstinate. No, that's the point. You crossed the line, I will not change. Now we can translate this into Krishna conscious context and say, sorry, we will not chant. We will not stop chanting Hare Krishna because some people may not like it. Right now we are deriving some benefit even from the Mayavada thing because they say, yeah, you chant, I'm shooting people, I sound so good shooting people, but you chant, and I don't chant. It's all one and the same anyway. So let them chant. But don't worry, this can change very quickly. We should be all equal, but not to Hare Krishnas. We should be all loving, and I say it with all the power I have. Welcome to Germany. They're always, we are all loving, love, peace, cool, happy, and I say it, and if you are not German, and you are not happy, and you are not loving, and you are not peaceful, I will call the police! Hey, something went wrong here. Because you cannot suppress that without Krishna consciousness, it's all artificial. So we didn't came to Krishna consciousness to play artificial games. God doesn't play games. He is angry. He is divinely angry. He is transcendentally angry. And when these fools don't learn in the material world, he comes in his transcendental anger and destroys it all. People don't like to hear about this because they want to stay here. They want God come and bless. Bless this. Bless our existence here. Yes, we should ask for blessing. But for what? And Krishna is reserved. You want material blessing. Well, that's the demigods. That's not me. But we need blessing. It's pious. Pious means that you seek blessing. You know you cannot do it yourself. That's pious. But pious for what? And that's where Krishna consciousness starts to become very unpleasant people. They say, no. I have to be materially situated.